What's happened to Monforti Watches? That's the question a surprising amount of people have asked me, because this brand, Monforti Milano Watches, has disappeared off the face of the earth. So, to set the scene, I took a look at this brand a couple of years back on my Ben Arthur channel. They were one of these Kickstarter brands. In this case, they were apparently made in Italy and inspired by Leonardo da Vinci. As cheesy as it sounds, these watches are actually half decent. While the unusual dials might not be for everyone, the build quality and specifications were quite good. In fact, the straps were probably the best I've seen on any watch below about £400 or £500, which is really surprising that they're supposedly genuine leather, but they feel great. Their most recent Kickstarter was in 2018 and they raised just over £36,000 according to the page, which I guess is okay, and for a couple of years it seemed to operate as normal. Nevertheless, something has obviously gone amiss and this brand has just vanished. A few of you have been asking me about their website because their website's now just a dead link. Their social media hasn't been touched in 6 months and there is no announcement anywhere about anything. Clearly to me, this company has gone bump. Either that or they're doing a terrible job with their marketing. So for the few of you that wanted to try these, unfortunately, you're out of luck. This project looks like it's dead in the water. Realistically, your only hope of ever getting one of these is to try and find a used one on eBay or finding an alternative somewhere. The reason I'm making this video is because I think it's quite interesting to speculate why a brand like this may have failed. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below, because a lot of Kickstarter brands seem to do this. They seem to spring up super fast and then die off just as fast. In many cases, I think people try their hand at this as some form of cash grab. I'm not saying that was the case with Monforti, it's just more of a general observation. There's so many just awful projects on there that are way worse than this one that are just failing all the time. Unfortunately, there's no information about why this brand specifically has shut down its operations. When it comes to my thoughts on this, there are a couple of things that stand out to me. Firstly is the revenue. While that £36,000 might sound like a lot of money, when you think about it, is it? When you consider they're doing like a whole range of watches, they've got this whole business surrounding all of this, especially if you're starting a brand from the ground up. I think maybe they've been going since maybe 2016, but at least 2018 was the most recent batch of Kickstarter. 36 grand, it's barely enough to pay for 2 people's salary for a year, let alone everything else to do with the business. Businesses in general, they cost a lot more to run than people would anticipate. Outside of that, maybe this brand just didn't offer enough of a unique selling point to begin with. These days, there are just so many fashion brands out there. I think there's got to be a clear selling point that's going to differentiate your product from the loads of other options. In fact, the other day, I went on H. Samuel, which is like a UK jewelers, because they had some watch sale on, and I decided to go on and have a look at what watches were actually selling the most. So I filtered them by, it's either best sellers or most popular, I can't remember the name of it, and all the best sellers were fashion watches. There was tons of them, and there was barely anything at all with any horological value in the top half of the results. I don't think we realise how much brands like Hugo Boss and Armani and that really dictate the market, at least in this sort of low-end space. Maybe this Monforti brand just never reached the people it intended to. Maybe those people, they've already bought a Daniel Wellington or something, or they'd always choose one instead because it's a brand they've heard of and that's all they care about. Maybe it was something else. Truth is, we'll never know for sure. Maybe this brand will make a magical re-emergence.